smoke when we all celebrate success. So now we
Hey guys, sorry about the massive gap between updates. I haven't done much on the car. I've started now removing the bitumen that this panel beater put in here, and the reason being is the soundproofing is not sticking on top of it. Like it did for the doors and here in the sort of rear door cavity area, but it's not sticking for some reason on these long lengths. So I'm pulling all this out. Got the heat gun. I'm taking a bit of a break now because the fumes are making me really high. So also that thing tends to get really hot, and I'm worried it's going to actually melt the plastic. So I'm giving that a break. Don't have that much left to do. I've got this little patch here, this little patch here, and there's a small square over here, and then just some general tidying up. Some of it's bunched up into like a really slimy sort of a glue. So I'm going to try and scrape that out. One of my paint scrapers is all gunked up at the moment, so I need to clean that guy. Let's zoom in here. So that stuff is actually, this is everything that's come out so far. Some of it's sunk to the bottom there, but we're almost there. I'll take some thinners, give everything a good scrub with some steel wool all the way around. Leave it to dry overnight, and I want to clean up all that glue there as well. Probably the Holtz bug and tar remover I bought will be able to get that off. Get all the surfaces nice and clean, prepped, ready to go. Then it's time to carry on. Tomorrow I want to try and see if I can finish putting this stuff into the footwells and see how far I can get up the firewall, and if there's any left over I want to try and do the tunnel. And the exhaust tunnel here. And then patches. I've got some holes to fill all over the place, but I want to get the major areas covered first. If I need to buy another box, I'll happily do that. I've still got quite a lot though, so should be alright. I finally put the taillights back in now. They're bolted in, that's where they're going to stay. So the reason for that is once I'm finished here in the front, I'm going to connect the wiring and start running it along. There's actually a channel here with some tabs. It comes down here, along, up and over, and then to where the fuse box would be, and then to the rest. So it'll be for the dashboard, for the center console switches, for the fan, and then through those two holes at the back there into the engine bay. And then we should actually be almost ready for going off to the upholsterer. I've chatted to an upholsterer to get some work done on Project Garfield. Garfield's actually at the moment at Viper Exhaust getting a branch and free flow fitted. We'll talk about that in another video when I do an update on Garfield itself. But yeah, I do also need to finish this and pull. This is the wiring for the cabin light. So I need to get new wiring sorted and drag it through. I probably need to do that before we put the roof in, because I need to cut this up a little bit to make the newer cabin light fit. It's a pity that there's not another one of these, and I can't get another one of these. Maybe someone could fab one up for me and put one there, so you could have like the dual light setup. Not a biggie. The Mark 1s in the city's only ever had a driver side light. And then yeah, these are the tabs for the roof ribs. Normally there's a handle on the modern cities anyway. I think it's here actually. There. Now I wonder if I can measure these distances up and do the same on that side. I'm really big on symmetry, so if I'm going to have a handle here, I'd like to have one there. But that's also one of those not necessary but nice to have features. Just looking, it's quite amazing how far we've actually come, and this is It's been quite a few hours work. It doesn't look like it, but she's like, that stuff was sticking. The older factory stuff, the 30-year-old stuff, let go really easy, but I think that glue was still, old and brittle and had been out in the sun for a while. This stuff did not want to let go. Jeez, like, I struggled. And also, I mean, the fumes from this stuff when it melts, even with the mask on, is making me really, really lightheaded. So I need to take these breaks. A mate of mine's found me a set of door cards for this rear section, which actually happen to match the door cards I'm going to use for the front. So I'm going to chat to him, see if I can get those posted up to me. And then the interior is actually mostly done. I mean, once the underpile and the carpet is in, once the foam and the roof is in, it'll be doing A, B, and C pillars, and I want to do the full C pillar all the way around, including here, like it used to have. So once all that's in, and the door cards are in, and those boot panels there and there are done, and then I want to build a board just to cover this to make it flat. The interior is mostly done if the wiring's in place. One of the things I wanted to, and I think I've said this before, is when the roof and everything is done, on the way home I want to go and put the windscreen front and rear in. Yeah, that's a big chunk of the work done. I found a place that can sell me new window regulators for the driver's door, because obviously I'm going manual again. So I need to get that. I need to order that still. Then I need to find these plugs. So I wanted the L-shaped grab handle that's got sort of a shelf here, and it comes up and plugs into one of these holes here. I'm struggling to find them in good condition. There's plenty around, not a lot of them are in really good condition. So yeah, I'm going to take this old regulator out and bin it, take the glass out, clean it up. I've got to put in the scrapers, got to put in the quarter glass, and then put in the new regulators with the new cables. And then we'll have manual windows again, guys. So I'm going to get back into it. I'm just going to take a walk around the garden just to clear my head, because I'm still, as I'm talking to you, I'm still seeing stars. And then yeah, I'm probably going to work on the car tonight and possibly tomorrow. I'm hoping, if we're lucky, we'll get a lot of this stuff done, and we'll be in a much better place. I'm not sure sort of the end date to get the car back on the road yet, but we are slowly chipping away. I'm actually trying to source a new one of these guys now. I must actually chat to Russell, see if he's found one for me, because obviously before I put the carpet and everything in, all of this stuff needs to be back in place. And yeah, it's just nice to be back in the garage working on it. Went to the stock tail lights again, placeholders. You can actually see how far we've come. I'll try to find a reference photo for before, although soundproofing was in. Right, I'm gonna, like I said, take a walk. I'll be back with you guys just now. You'll probably be night time by the time I make my next update, but let's see how far I get. Cheers for now. Well, as I predicted, this stuff is all finally out, and it's night time. Yeah, 9 o'clock at night. So this was an absolute freaking ball ache. Jeez, like, the sad thing is I'd already done this before this car went to the freaking panel beater. But that's not his fault, that's entirely my fault. This stuff was supposed to have been supplied to him by me while it was with him, and I never got around to doing that. So he went ahead, he put in the stuff that he probably uses all the time. So yeah, it was nice of him to do that. He didn't bill me for it. But yeah, it's out now. I'm going to leave this stuff to harden. I'll give it a once over with like a hard brush and vacuum cleaner tomorrow, just get all the little loose chunks out. Now I need to think about what I'm going to use to clean the surface. So I'm not quite finished over there. I was lucky, this little square piece here and this piece up here, they almost came out in complete chunks. So I heated a corner worked the thin paint scraper, to lift a section. Left it to get a little bit hard. It was still a bit tacky to the touch. Grabbed a hold of the lifted square and just peeled it off. So that was easy. I think a large section over there did it. This thing, whatever was going on here in the middle, just turned to mush. Some of it actually fell in the holes. So hopefully it hardens and it sticks to whatever's going on at the back there. Otherwise I'm going to have that stuff rattling around, which would really irritate me. So yeah, so that's where we are tonight. I'm going to call it quits. My tenants will be home pretty soon, so I don't want to keep them up with vacuum cleaners and heat guns and all sorts of noises like that. So yeah, that's quite a good step forward. We'll see tomorrow how things go. If I can clean this area nicely and get everything prepped and ready, I can start with this, and then I think I've got one box left. But this is basically a box and a half here in the footwell. Like I said, if I need to get more, I'll go get more. I'm going to go screw this in now because this is pretty much done. And yeah, hopefully we can finish this tomorrow. Then the one thing I do need to do on Monday, once I've fetched Project Garfield, I completely screwed up. These were meant to be, well, these bolts anyway, bolts and washers, were meant to be for the bumper mounts. But for some reason I only bought four washers, 4 bolts, which means I can only fit one bumper, which is kind of annoying. So yeah, so I need to go get 4 more bolts, 4 more washers, and then some spring washers, so that the big washer doesn't rattle around, because the bolt heads actually don't really make proper contact here. So that'll be my job for Monday. So the reason I don't actually have Project Garfield, I was meant to get it on Friday, dropped it off very early Friday morning. So what happened was, when the guy building the exhaust took the exhaust off, and that would be, so you would have had to remove the inlet manifold and then the exhaust manifold, and some studs broke that were holding, well, he didn't tell me, I'm assuming it's the inlet manifold studs. So you had to make a plan there, and then today I was supposed to get it about 12 o'clock, or it'd be 12 midday, and I got a call, and when they were refitting everything, they broke other studs. So I told them, go ahead and buy a whole complete new set, and keep the car till Monday, because I really don't want 2 new studs and then 2 old suspect studs. Now you must know, the inlet and exhaust manifold have been on that car for 17 years, so I'm really not surprised in after 181,000 kilometers that the studs are breaking. Those things would have heated up, expanded and contracted millions of times. So this is the wrong screwdriver for this job. Another annoying thing is this is going to come off again when we do the fuel gauge sender wiring. I still need to make, there's a washer here somewhere. I need to make there. I need to make a hole here. Let me get a different screwdriver. So yeah, so hopefully I get her back on Monday and everything is perfect. I'd love to hear what this thing's going to sound like now. And that was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I could have just done the normal mild steel, the 2 rear boxes. Quite a long time ago, I think it was about February of this year, I took the catalytic converter out because it was dead, it wasn't doing anything. So that did free up a little bit of ponies. The car got a little bit more responsive, and the fuel consumption gauge on my MFA got a little bit more accurate. So the guys told me then that the rear box was on its way out. So I thought I'd wait, and then, as luck would have it, the middle and the rear box, or the 2 rearmost boxes, went at the same time. So it sounded like I was driving around with marbles rattling around inside the exhaust. And the cost of the mild steel boxes was not that much more, or at least it was pretty close, so it wasn't that much more to spend to get a full branched free flow system. So I figured I'd rather just do that, have a bit of fun with the car before we make her a weekend toy again. And then it kind of makes sense to have a nice free flow on the car. I still need to transfer this carb onto this manifold, and I need to take all this off and clean this up. I'll make up a new ground strap. Actually, I think I did on this carb. Just look for it. This one I can't use because this thread here is let me show you with this. Over the years they've been using different sized bolts, so that's completely useless. Now I could take a long thread, practically steel, and make a permanent sort of fixture, but I mean this carb is actually one of them. You'll see now I've had to butcher. This is a new carb at the bottom, old carb at the top. Old carb at the bottom, new carb at the top. I had to make a plan, so I serviced both this old carb and that one. This one I got complete, and the only reason I bought the whole thing is because I actually only wanted the manifold, because some muppet cut the water channel here for whatever reason. I really don't know what purpose that's could possibly serve, but yeah, this car wasn't really looked after nicely before I got her. So yeah, I've got all of these chunks of carb. One of them had a really big issue. You see here we used some glue to glue this. I think it was leaking fuel, and I was worried about a fire at one stage. Probably would be better in the long run to get a new Weber carb, but we can. I'll probably get. You see, this is what I'm talking about. This wire is actually burnt because it was the wrong gauge wire. If I open this up, it's probably going to be speaker wire. Previous owner loved his speaker wire. So yeah, I'll clean up this manifold, spray it silver. This carb needs a serious service, this one. So I'll bin that, and between this old and new and this, maybe get the new base, mate it to the new top, and make a plan. I'll get a professional mechanic to sort out the nitty gritty bits. And then yeah, I need to get some long bolts there. And I actually need to make a space here because I was able to get one of these metal cabinets the other day, and this is sort of a stopgap measure. So I want to put this in the corner here, probably on this side, so I still have access to that plug. And that's going to mean that all of this stuff that's lying all over the place can actually get all of this is going into the car. So this box is going to disappear because all of this wiring goes into the car. This is the old wiring which I'm still holding on to for whatever reason. Could actually be chucked, it's all useless. So all of that box is going to go into the car. Probably when the car is running and all the bugs are worked out, I'll start chucking out the old wiring and things. So yeah, so that cover is going to go in here. Once this top is clear, then I can start. This is going to be my Dremel workstation. So all this Dremel stuff that I've been accumulating, the flexes and the stands and the routers and the drill presses, all that stuff I'm going to permanently mount it on top of this. This is a folding workbench, so it would be a bit of a pity to do that. But another option is that one. Now this is a temporary desk I got for free, so I really don't mind. And this is also going to move over there into that. It'll be an L shape over there, because you remember that goes into the tenant's garage and we have no need to go in there. Ditto, they have no need to come in here. So we're going to tidy all that mess up when the cupboard's in place, sort out something with those mattresses, and even stuff in that cupboard, because there's I think 4 or 5 shelves in here, so that cupboard will be for cleaning stuff, and a lot of this stuff here that's dotted all over the floor is going to end up in the cupboard. I want to buy another one, a proper workbench for 2, and I want to get this garage kitted. So we are going to get some. I need a proper workbench so I can mount. That's a very heavy vise. This table won't cut it because it's like a chipboard. It's like this stuff. I want a nice solid chunk of wood, so that needs to go on somewhere because I need to start using that soon. And yeah, all of this mess is just starting to drive me crazy. So this, I'm building something here, still busy designing it. That's going to be for my axle stands. I'll show you guys the finished product when I'm done. And then I bought some more toys. Let's go somewhere where I have a bit more space. So I noticed that one of the bolts for the water pump broke off in the block. Of course I can't open this now one-handed, so I'll probably end up using this guy, number 2, but it's probably going to actually be number 1. So I'm going to tap in and then easy out this thing. So I'll probably take a punch or a small drill, make a pilot hole, thread this in, and then turn the bolt out. Then I just need to get a replacement. So that's that. And then these are all things that are worthwhile getting. This guy here, number 8. This is for the CV joint bolts. So I want to take a sample. I'm going to go and buy a set, when I go get those other bolts for the rear bumper and the front bumper. I need to get some new CV bolts, and these are the spline sets I need to put them in. Worthwhile stuff to get, I think anyway. But yeah, that's kind of where we are, guys. I know it's very slow. I'm getting frustrated as well. Part of me wants to just drop this car off somewhere with all the pieces and tell the guy, here's your budget, call me when it's finished. But where's the fun in that, right? Gosh, there's so much to do still. All these finicky little things. But okay, so this cat's just chilling. That's going to be me for tonight. I need to edit and upload this. Hopefully get this in its spot tomorrow. I need to move some stuff around, as you can see. I need to finish this stuff. Tomorrow I have a full day to work on the car, so I'm going to do a bit of tidying up, get my workspace situated, and we're going to try and hit a few things. I might start with these drive shafts first, because that's really just 2 or 3 layers of primer, and then a couple of layers of gloss black. I'm not going to clear coat or anything. It's going to go under the car and get hit with mud and stone and sand and everything from the road. So I just want them to look a little bit nicer. I can thread them into the tires, into the wheel hubs here, and get them up off the floor finally. So you'll see, and I'll show you tomorrow. I'll take them out. I've actually got CV joints as blanking plates in there. But yeah, there's a story with this grey primer as well for the DeLorean. So those of you who have been watching my DeLorean bids will know where I'm going with this. But that's issue 10. I finally got issue 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When was it? Thursday? I think it was Thursday. So there'll be some updates coming soon there. Look at all of that. She's like... Well, at least it's out the car. When I'm done, once I've used all of this silver stuff, it's going to add 60 kilos of weight to the body. But nice and solid is what I want, so not really too phased. She is coming along very slowly. I'm going to have to start asking people for help. Give up some weekends. I'll have some braais and some beer ready. And get the mates around to do some work on the car. Try to speed things up a bit. But anyway, I'm going to edit and upload this And we'll catch you guys tomorrow. If you're lucky, there'll be a double upload. If not, it'll be uploaded during the week sometime. And let's carry on, guys. Let's see how far we get. Cheers for now. Hi guys, thanks so much for watching. If you want to see more and be kept up to date, please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and subscribe to my channel. With your help, we can get this project complete and move on to the next one. Bye for now.